So today's discussion, or maybe what we are deliberating here, is जो गुजरात का जो स्टेट है उसका जो क्रेडिट पोटेंशियल है उसको लेके हमारे यहाँ पे आई मीन ऑल सारे गेस्ट हैं यहाँ पे एंड जो तीन पैनलिस्ट हैं यहाँ पे Parikh sir from RBI, Ashwini Kumar sir from Bank of Baroda, and Atul Rathi sir from SBI. So and I would मैं बोलना चाहूँगी कि सिंगल सर वाज आल्सो सपोज टू बी हियर, लेकिन वो अचानक से एक और सेशन है और उसमें चेयरमैन सर है तो उन्हें वहाँ रहना पड़ रहा है. सो आई एम हियर फॉर टू अकम्पनी ऑल थ्री ऑफ यू. तो हम लोग इस जो क्रेडिट पोटेंशियल की हम जो बात कर रहे हैं और जो आज एक छोटा सा प्रेजेंटेशन भी मेरे कलीग अमित कुमार जी ने दिया है, तो उसके लिए मैं एक एक करके आई वुड इनवाइट ऑल द पैनलिस्ट टू से अ फ्यू वर्ड्स. आप लोग क्या सोचते हैं कि इस पोटेंशियल जो असेस किया है वो पोटेंशियल और किस तरह से हम इसको आगे ले जा सकते हैं, या हम लोग को किस तरह से क्या हम लोग की भूमिका होनी चाहिए. तो मैं पारिक सर से पहले रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि सर टू से अ फ्यू वर्ड्स ऑन दिस टॉपिक.
Good evening, friends. First of all, thank you very much, NABARD, for inviting me to this particular summit. I am very much grateful to NABARD for this summit. NABARD has prepared a very extensive focus paper on priority sector lending, which just now we saw a presentation, and the paper was it basically focuses about potential link credit plans for all districts of the state of Gujarat, and the target, which is the potential which is set by the NABARD itself, speaks about it, that is 6.33 lakh crore for the year 2026-27. This estimate shows an increase of around 28% compared to the previous year. So now I would like to give certain figures here, why actually this particular credit link plan assumes a great importance. Certain figure just I will quote. You see, MSME and agriculture, these are the two main sectors which assumes a lot of importance in priority sector. So why is it so? You see, MSME sector, if you see, it contributes 30% to our GDP, and it contributes 44% share in our export. Similarly, agriculture, also I have certain numbers. It is some around 40% people depend on agricultural activities, and it forms some 18% of country's GDP. So these two sectors are very important for priority sector lending. Now, there is a lot of credit gap in both the sectors. MSME, if I say, there are some approximately 7 crore MSME units are there, which are registered on Udyam portal and UAP. Out of this, 6.91 crore are micro units. Now you see, only 3.68 crore have ever accessed credit. So credit access reach is also very low in case of this MSME. The credit gap, which was estimated by the CRISIL, was around 20 to 25 lakh crore. So there is a huge credit gap. So That's why there is a lot of potential, lot of scope in priority sector lending. Even in agriculture also, half of the farmers are left out of credit. So in my opinion, 6.33 lakh crore of potential estimated by the NABARD is just right figure. And we need to do lot of things in this particular direction in order to bridge this credit gap in both the fields, MSME and this agriculture. In MSME, there are many challenges like lack of collateral is there, lack of digital footprint is there, limited financial awareness is there among MSME. So there are certain things which we can implement in, I think, in order to encourage MSMEs to go for this credit. Particularly, one thing I would like to emphasize is the use of blockchain. And recently, Reserve Bank of India has approved a blockchain-based financing solution for micro, small, and medium enterprises. So this particular technology, blockchain technology, it will tokenize the invoices, which will make the invoices tamper-proof digital asset. It will allow faster verification, reduced fraud, and real-time visibility of all the parties. Some of the challenges are also there. That registration of MSMEs on this Udgam portal, that is also very low. I think around 1 lakh MSMEs are registered and buyers are only some 6,000. So we need to actually encourage MSMEs and corporates to come on this trades platform so that maximum benefit of trade receivable discounting system can be taken. In my opinion, the potential plan envisaged by the NABARD will go a long way in filling the credit gap which is prevailing in priority sector. There is a lot of potential. There is a lot of opportunities are also there. Only banks and all, they need to tap this particular potential. So which will go a long way in increasing our growth potential, because I just said that MSME forms some 30% of our GDP. So if we work in this particular direction, and also in agriculture, I think we will be able to increase our growth rate. We will be able to contribute to the growth of our nation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think it was quite interesting to have a different perspective coming from you, especially as a regulator. You rightly said that MSME and agriculture contribute to a major part of our GDP, and agriculture still traditionally remains the backbone of our economy. I found it more interesting because you talked about the very successful regulatory sandbox graduate from RBI that about blockchain technology in MSMEs. This will give us new talking points, and that is why I would like to now invite Shri Atul Rathi, sir, General Manager from SBI, to bring in a perspective from the banking sector.
Distinguished panelists, dear friends, first of all, a big thanks to Team NABARD कि आज आपने एक you have given us an opportunity to present us here. And in the morning, it was a very informative session, I must say. And we thoroughly realized, in fact, some of the points we have borrowed from there, how we can actually plug it into the banking system. Whatever Honorable Minister has spoken and whatever Amit, I think, has shown a very comprehensive focused plan presentation. So thank you, Amit. So Gujarat, as Parikh Sahab has rightly said, 40% of our population, it depends on agri-livelihood. And so there are three sectors, mainly primary, secondary and tertiary. So if we actually divide it like agri, then your manufacturing and services. These are the three prime components which actually give fillip to GDP. GDP में growth करने के लिए ये तीन components आपके majorly हैं. Now coming to, first I'll take MSME, taking from where Parikh Sahab has left, as he has rightly said. MSME actually forms the backbone of this country. And within MSME, as he has said, 30% of the GDP MSME and 44% of exports. The manufacturing sector, the country's ambition is that 15% of the GDP it contributes. Now it has to take it to 25%. So I think manufacturing sector will play a very vital role in our ambition to reach that Viksit Bharat 2047. So before I would like to actually leave few points with you so that all of us can actually work on those few points. But before that, I would like to actually give you two good guiding reference books. One is obviously NABARD's annual credit plan. And second is, if some of you might have read, Gujarat government has actually given a booklet about their ambition of Viksit Gujarat 2047, wherein it has actually given the visionary document till 2030. It's in public domain and all of you can access it. Why I am quoting this document is because as regulators, as the banks, NABARD, financial institutions, NBFCs, one thing is very, very clear is that we have to be in alignment with the state government policies and directives. 2030 का उन्होंने जो प्लान देखा है या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का जो विजन है किस सेक्टर को हमें आगे लेके जाना है, if we do not have specific products, policies and processes in line with those plans, perhaps it will not move at that pace. To give things and to bring things in perspective, I'll tell you, जैसे Honorable Minister ने बोला कि organic agriculture, organic food produce would be the vision of the country is that they should contribute 20% at the world level, organic food produce. And obviously इसमें बहुत सारे challenges है. One challenge is about the certifications, the other challenge is about the trust of the customers, trust of the stakeholders. European Union will not accept it. USA may not accept it without proper certification. Now with this 20% of organic food produce, I doubt whether the financial institutions or the banks, they have any specific product for this organic food, for pushing this organic food. You would be having it in various general forms, in the form of KCC, in the form of KSR, in the form of agriculture. But until and unless the banks and the financial institutions, they have actually specific policies and processes and products which are there, which is promoting organic food either in the form of incentivization or in the form of knowledge sharing or in the form of hand holding or in the form of accessibility of the farmers जो produce कर रहे हैं. Just for example, कोई farmer वहाँ produce कर रहा है, चना produce कर रहा है, and there is a great demand in DMart about that organic chana. Until and unless you connect this farmer, this poor farmer, to that DMart, who is also banking with the various banks, till that time this value chain will not connect. So my first thought in this is that we have to be in alignment with what the state government, the regulators and the central government actually wants the country to be, on what pedestal. So this is one thought. Second thought in PSL which comes to my mind is, which crosses my mind is, that Gujarat again would be a great opportunity for us to build renewable energy sources. And again it is coming from the data. Till 2030, Gujarat wants to have 55% of its energy capacity from renewable energy sources, 55%, which is close to 100 gigawatt. As of now, it is around 35 gigawatt. So from 35 gigawatt, you want to push the energy capacity to 100 gigawatt, that is almost 2.5 times. So until and unless we have those products in place, until and unless we make our policy conducive for that, until and unless we have those kind of processing cells which are actually focusing towards renewable energy sources, it is not possible. Just to bring some thoughts, State Bank of India, at State Bank of India, now we are focusing in a great way towards these renewable energy participation, renewable energy financing. And in fact, sir, we have entered into an MOU with GUVNL of close to 25,000 crores in the Vibrant Gujarat Energy Summit, wherein we are actually partnering with GUVNL to ensure that whatever state government has said in the policy document about this 100 gigawatt, 55% of the renewable energy, we are also part of it. And again, as I have said, again, to bring it closer to this aspiration, we have actually launched a specific product about solar financing, sir, which has got two parts. One is a captive solar energy which we can fund, and the other one is that you can actually fund it to anyone who is interested into supplying it to GUVNL and other distribution companies. So these are two. So the idea is, until and unless you have products, policies and processes in alignment with the objectives, it is not going to happen. The PSL is not going to happen. Other pertinent point is, again, I will borrow some thoughts from what the present FICCI chairman has said, Mr. Nanda has said, recently said, that normally in India, we always think about catering to the Indian diaspora or catering to the Indian ecosystem. But we never actually go beyond Indian ecosystem and look into what we can do to the world. So he said that there are very few names, in fact, very few names whom we can remember, whom you can say that they have found their place in global space. For example, if I ask you about e-commerce system, at global level, you will immediately say it's Amazon, it's Walmart. If I say you that some of the biggest tech companies, you will say it's Google, it's Meta, it's Facebook. But in terms of any Indian company who is actually making or who is doing rounds at global landscape, you will find very few names. So this is one area wherein we need to focus. He again gave his thoughts in a perspective is they are manufacturing Seat tires. He said 10 years in the history, we were only manufacturing Seat tires considering only Indian landscape. हम लोग Seat टायर्स नहीं बना रहे थे कि हमको बाहर उनको सप्लाई करना है. वी वर मेनली कुछ अमाउंट हम सप्लाई कर रहे थे वेस्ट अफ्रीका को एंड मेनली इट वाज इंडिया. नाउ दे हैव चेंज द एंटायर बॉल गेम एंड नाउ दे आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टायर्स फॉर इटली, फॉर स्पेन, फॉर ऑल टेरेन काइंड ऑफ. So my point is that we, from priority sector lending perspective, until and unless we create value chains for these priority sector holders, whether it is MSME, whether it is agri or whether it is service sector, until and unless we create accessibility of markets for them, they are not going to grow and they are not going to go into this landscape. So maybe this is one thought wherein we have to actually, with academia, industry and the institutions, they have to ensure that a continuous partnership rahe to grow these priority sector stakeholders and priority sector beneficiaries so that they grow and ultimately many of the people they get attracted towards this priority sector lending business, because many of the people who think that my reach is only up to KCC, my reach is only up to KSR or maybe some allied agriculture activities or a small trading MSME unit. So this is, I think, this is incumbent on all the industry partners that we need to ensure that apart from these numbers, we have to ensure that they grow also and grow to a stature wherein they can actually boast of their capabilities in global landscape. Third is about accessibility. Sir, coming to your point of MSME, as you rightly said, sir, few years back, we were struggling in MSME sector because of lack of collateral, and every bank, in fact, they were actually inclined towards their portfolio of collateral-based lending. In fact, some of the banks still are insisting for collateral-based lending, but many of the banks, I will say, now they have moved towards cash flow-based lending, which has given a big fillip to MSME. For example, and Jan Samarth has actually helped many of the banks. So until and unless we give accessibility to these MSME, to these agriculture space, and to these trading spaces in the form of a digital kind of solution like we have provided to all MSMEs. Now, in State Bank of India and in many other banks, I believe it must be, an MSME loan of 50 lakhs, up to 50 lakhs can be sanctioned within 1 day time, in fact, within 5 hours time, sanction, because it is all digitized. Your GST repository, your income tax repository, your account statements repository is there, and it is all linked with your GST PSB loan in 59minutes.com. उससे आपका बैंक का system भी attached है, linked है. So you are able to actually now do a turnaround of 50 lakhs loans in 5 hours time and a sanction within 5 days time. So until and unless we work at this speed, until and unless we actually connect all the dots and ensure that MSMEs are given this platform to access credit, I think we won't be able to give a big fillip to priority sector lending. I'm sure that all banks and financial institutions, they have already started working on it. But there is a big gap in terms of our integration with many of the agri-techs. We were just having a round at this, all these counters, and we saw that there is a lot of interest towards this AI-based startups and AI-based tech starts. But I think that there is a huge gap in terms of banks funding to these startups and these agri-tech units. Until and unless we plug this gap, we won't be able to reach to the last beneficiary. So I think three thoughts which I would like to leave it with you. One is this value chain enhancement, more engagement with academia, industry, financial institutions, and priority sector lending beneficiaries. Second is your accessibility in the form of portals like Jan Samarth, digitization, pre-approved Kisan credit, like we are doing pre-approved business loans, we are doing BRE loans, similarly pre-approved Kisan credit, pre-approved specific product related scheme, and also our thoughts, processes and policy in complete alignment with what NABARD has stated for in their annual credit plan projections and what government has stated in their vision document 2047. If you are able to actually plug in, if you are able to move in alignment with these three main pillars, I think priority sector lending, Gujarat is in any way achieving its priority sector lending targets. But I think then it would not be skewed towards a particular sector. It would not be skewed, as of now it is skewed towards a particular geography, particular sector, particular segment. I think it would be evenly distributed. So I think this is my thought on priority sector lending. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Atul sir. Now that we have two panelists out there putting their views, let's not be too reductive about what we understand. I think Parikh sir put his money on MSMEs and the old heroes of economic growth, that was agriculture. And Atul, Rathi sir initially started by putting manufacturing as the horse to gun for, to actually scale up the GDP. But then overall, then he sought to spread out the analysis where we broaden our horizons, not just sticking to manufacturing or MSME or agriculture. He also highlighted a very important point, that alignment with the central government and state directives, laws and policies and government schemes becomes very crucial for any credit product or a plan to pass through. Apart from that, like he drew reference to what the Honorable Home Minister thought about when he encouraged organic agriculture, which means we will see more credit inflow in organic agriculture, in exports, and also renewable energy, which SBI is focusing on. But the key point was also that the speed with which we, credit access is granted is also crucial. So on that note, now I invite our third panelist to bring forth fresher ideas and take the panel discussion forward. I invite Shri Ashwini Kumar sir, who's also General Manager of Bank of Baroda and the SLBC Gujarat convener.
So, very good afternoon, and first of all, I would like to congratulate NABARD for this beautiful inaugural ceremony of Earth Summit. A big round of applause to NABARD and the entire team of NABARD. Country should be Viksit by 2047. And that is what is called inclusive growth. So first and foremost, I would like to touch slightly upon the inclusive growth, because Without inclusivity, growth has no meaning. Right? The MSME sector constitutes not only agriculture, the priority sector constitutes not only agriculture, MSME, it also constitutes housing, affordable housing, education, renewable energy, weaker section, everything. You have seen the presentation given by gentleman from NABARD, the priority sector lending. The CAGR since last 4-5 years is 17%. MSME, the CAGR is 24% plus. If you talk about the agriculture sector in the national perspective, 16% contribution to its GDP, 46-47% peoples are getting livelihood from this activity. MSME already has been told 30% plus in GDP's contribution, 45% plus in export, crores of employment. Today morning itself, Honorable Chief Minister was telling 27 lakhs MSME, more than a crore employment is being generated in the state of Gujarat. If you take about the Gujarat's data, we have total loan book of 13,62,000 crore in the state of Gujarat. And priority sector contribution to this is 58% plus. This year also, the priority sector target, we already have achieved 74% plus in the first half year only. Next half year is still due. This data I am sharing up to September 2025. Now, the potential which has been fixed by NABARD, everybody has endorsed, I also endorse that, because it has a very scientific approach while calculating those and while deriving those figures. A bottom-up approach are being adopted for that. There is no doubt about it. But I want, since all the bankers are here, I want you to be focused on financial literacy first. What I have seen is there are still a gap. And I'll quote some examples. Since last 4-5 months, my LDMs are very busy. It's really very tough time for them. From 1st of July, we started Jan Suraksha Santrupti Abhiyan. All of you were very busy. It ended up on 31st of October. Again, we have started Aapki Punji, Aapka Adhikar from 1st of October. It was launched in this state itself. गांधीनगर से ही शुरुआत हुई इसकी 4 अक्टूबर को ऑनरेबल फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने इसका इनॉग्रेशन किया. बट इफ यू सी द फिगर, द एक्चुअल फिगर, यदि मैं आपकी पूंजी आपका अधिकार के बारे में बात करूं, 2,800 करोड़ करीब रुपया है जो डीईए फंड में गुजरात की बात करता हूं. कल भी मैं और चेयरमैन साहब थे एक मीटिंग में, पाटन डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 40 करोड़ रुपया है. और जब हमने बहुत बड़ा कैंप किया, जनप्रतिनिधि को भी बुलाया, सब कुछ किया, और 1 करोड़ रुपया रिक्लेम कर पाए आरबीआई से. इतनी 4 महीने की कैंपेन करी, फिर भी हम लोग सैचुरेट नहीं कर पाए. राइट? तो आप अब देखें कि थोड़ा फिगर पे भी थोड़ा रियलिस्टिक होके भी काम करना बहुत जरूरी है. 2800-2900 करोड़ रुपया डीए फंड में पड़ा है. इफ वी कैन नॉट क्लेम एंड द टारगेट इज वेरी स्टिफ 700 करोड़. आउट ऑफ दैट आई हैव द फिगर बिकॉज आई आल्सो लुक आफ्टर द अफेयर्स ऑफ SLBC. द टोटल क्लेम इज 45 करोड़ स्टिल नाउ, एंड 1 month is already over, 2 months is already over. We are in the last month. Similar things should not happen with this figure also, priority sector also. Whatever we are doing, see, agriculture, Gujarat is one of the states. I have worked in nearly 8-9 states in this country. I found Gujarat one of the best states in terms of agriculture lending. I found Gujarat having the best of the best infrastructure available here. आप यहाँ पे जो नहरों का कनेक्शन देखें, जो सिंचाई की सुविधा यहाँ पे अवेलेबल है वो बेस्ट है. बट व्हेन you see the total number of farmers available in this state and see the total number of KCC we have issued, there is still a very huge gap, and there lies the potential. So if we talk about this target 6.33 is nothing. If we really give a wide publicity to all the schemes which is being either launched by NABARD or by the central government or by the state government. We very recently we have concluded one program, SLBC, 178th SLBC meeting, wherein one scheme of state government is having achievement of 2%, less than 2%. Can you imagine? After a gap of, after completion of 9.5 months, if the achievement is 2%, less than that, even less than 2%, I think there is a serious gap between the things which we have launched and the things which is going to the end. So my request to all the LDMs, DDMs, since you are there in the field, very actively engaged, please take a serious note of it. Make a very wide publicity of what is available with us. Otherwise, we will somewhere fail in telling that we are growing, but then we are not growing the way which we should be. Inclusive growth जब बात करते हैं तो हमें inclusivity का तो ख्याल रखना पड़ेगा. Last mile तक जानी चाहिए वो. I am slightly deviating because since I am looking after SLBC and I have the responsibility also to popularize all these schemes to make, to do some sort of great achievement in terms of when it comes to the national average. My state should not be figured after 20 or even say, since we are in Gujarat, we always want Gujarat to be in the top 3-4 states. But then in certain areas, we are trailing behind. And that is why I am sharing this thought before all of you. Now again, coming back to the priority sector lending. You might have seen the growth. All the bankers are here. SLBC meeting, you also have attended. Is available with us. Now, the priority sector lending also constitutes renewable energy. You all know there are very many schemes that has been launched, and PM Surya Ghar is also one of these schemes. The performance of this estate under PM Surya Ghar scheme also needs to be given a big thought. We can say that Gujarat already there was a very good publicity of solar system and very many people have already installed. But then still there are very many tenements wherein the solarization is not yet done. And there lies the potential. These are all forming part of your priority sector. Still, as SLBC, I am receiving some complaint from the borrower wherein we are asking security if the MSME is less than 10 lakhs rupees. The guideline says less than 10 lakh, no security, no collateral. Why? It is not that you are deliberately asking, because there are certain gaps. Please get yourself educated first and then publicize it. The moment the people will come to know, up to 10 lakhs, there is no security, no collateral security is available. Then you can finance. If you'll see the RCT gentleman is also sitting here. If you'll see the linkage, of the person getting trained at our city, there are gaps. Less than 40% is getting loan from banks. Less than 40%, right? 35% self-employed by investing their own money. 2-3% by jobs. Rest, nothing. 16-17%, even after incurring such a big expenditure, giving such a good training, the people are not getting connected with the formal banking system. And there lies the potential. And those are very small things. I'll not talk about a very top-notch corporate funding or MSME. A small, medium is okay. A small, micro and a small is okay. Medium also, there are very many industries here. I will talk a very grounded level discussion I just want to have with you. These are all very small things, but then these are all having a lot of potential available. And we must work on that. We must work on that. The concept of our city have come only because we want everybody should grow. We don't want 1 or 2 or 3 or few of us should grow and then rest of us we should not. No, it's not the basic intent. The intent is inclusive growth only. If you will talk about other social security scheme, there also, I'll not speak because that is not forming a part of priority sector, but then that also needs a lot of serious thoughts to be given by all the gentlemen sitting over here. So I'll end up my discussion only by sharing with you this is because whatever schemes and whatever plan the government will come up, if we as an implementing agency, if we will not publicize it and if we will not give a good kind of publicity, good kind of education to the people, probably the basic intent behind launching all those programs will not be a successful one, right? So I'll not share very many data. It has already been shared. I think Madam will also be having some of the data. The entire ecosystem, my dear friend Rathi ji has already shared what MSME is required. The first thought what he has given is a very urgent requirement, I would say. So these are all the things which has been said. I think there are certain things which has been left out by both the gentlemen. So I thought let me cover those things. But we sitting at this hall, I am telling you all, you are a very important person, very, very, very important person, either DDM, DDO, LDMs, representative from our cities. You all are very important because you are there in the field, you are there in the ground. So you should be very, very, very actively engaged with the entire people of the state, the entire people of the district wherein you are working, and try to do something which will, at one point in time, we all will proudly say that yes, we are a Viksit Bharat because everybody, every citizen of India is now Viksit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. You rightly broadened our understanding of what priority sector could be holistically. And also to remember that while chasing targets and numbers, you leave nobody behind. Because what you said, like without inclusivity, growth has no meaning. And priority sector also includes education and housing sector. You also rightly highlighted, as also because you're the convener of SLBC, I think numbers are at the tip of your fingers, that gaps in credit lending towards housing and education not only mean gaps, but they're also potential where we can focus on and improve on, and rightly to take us towards Viksit Bharat. Now, towards the closing of our panel discussion, एक German philosopher था in 1800s. He's called Hegel. So Hegel was a lover of discussions. He put forward the idea of dialectics, which means कि एक बंदा एक thesis देगा, then there'll be a person who will have another idea that's an antithesis, and together they will come with some synthesis. So now that we have varied points of understanding and discussion, I would like to welcome Nidhi ma'am, GM NABARD Gujarat RO, to sort of synthesize the entire discussion towards the end.
Thank you, Anaga. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Yogesh Agarwal ji, Chairman, Gujarat Gramin Bank, all the LDMs, DDMs, RCT directors, officials from RCT, CFL, and other esteemed guests out here. A very warm welcome to you all to this discussion. Basically, ये एक बहुत ही दो हम इसको credit potential या assessing the potential in the state of Gujarat का एक discussion हमने एक angle दिया है. But जैसे कि अश्विनी कुमार सर ने बोला कि ये एक बहुत एक opportunity है हम सब के लिए, because actually when we are talking of the potential, or when we are talking of the potential not only in the state of Gujarat, definitely we always talk vibrant Gujarat. That's the word which comes into our mind. And देखा जाए तो वाकई में Gujarat is one of the most dynamic and progressive state. We have, during this panel discussion only, हम लोगों ने एक journey start की MSME Parikh sir ने MSME पे focus करते हुए he spoke about the priority sector. Then Rathi ji ne, he added the alignment with the government policies, the government thought process, and Ashwini Kumar sir ne jab inclusive growth की बात किया है, तो definitely जब हम इन सारी चीज़ों को लेके चलते हैं, तो that's what I feel. I'll speak a little bit about from the NABARD's perspective. When we make this state-focused paper, we try to make this paper or the document keeping everything in alignment, what the government thinks, not only the state government, even the government, union government, what the government thinks, what are the policies, what are the bankers, how are we, we reaching, or how are we traveling towards this journey of lending or enhancing credit, and where are the gaps. So ये document जो है ये एक पूरा इन सारी चीज़ों को encompass करता है. और जब हम priority sector की बात करते हैं सर, तो जो अश्विनी सर ने बोला कि definitely हम farm credit की बात कर रहे हैं, जो कि आज के जो potential हमने assess किया उसमें almost 35% है. Then we talk of MSME, which is a huge chunk, which constitutes almost 58% of the potential it holds for the credit. But then बाकी का देखें तो 7 से 8% बचता है, जिसमें आपका renewable, housing, export credit, education आता है. तो why is it so that, does it really mean that they have really very low potential in these sectors, or do we really have to think about it? क्या हमारे हो सकता है कि हम potential इसलिए assess करें क्योंकि हमारा past achievement यहाँ पे जो रहा है, हमने उसी के basis पे थोड़ा सा आगे उसको सोचा कि हम अगर इसको आगे enhance करना है तो हमारा potential क्या होना चाहिए. So we have come across 7 to 8% potential in these sectors. But देखा जाए तो बहुत ज़्यादा potential है इन sectors में. Concerns भी हैं, especially when we talk of renewable energy, when we talk of other developmental sectors. यहाँ पे मैं एक चीज़ और एक फोकस ले मतलब I would like to draw your attention to one नाफिस एक रिपोर्ट होती है, नेशनल फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन रिपोर्ट, which NABARD conducts, and 2021 में जब हमने एक सर्वे किया था तो उसमें ये आया था कि 16% households Gujarat में and 24% household all over India are outside the ambit of formal institutional credit, you know. So that means जब हम बात कर रहे हैं तो इतना बड़ा एक चंक है जो कि अभी भी फॉर्मल क्रेडिट या फॉर्मल बैंकिंग सेक्टर में नहीं आ रहा है, तो ज़रूरत है उन्हें टैप करने की. एंड what it constitutes according to me is, you know, like there is a necessity to focus on the non-farm sector apart from farm credit, which also constitutes priority sector. It can be weaker sections, it can be, you know, like very small and micro enterprises, it can be the farmers collectives. So there are many people who are still not getting the credit, maybe because हमारे पास जो एक set of products है वो उस या तो प्रोडक्ट में कहीं फिट नहीं बैठते, और मे बी दे डो नॉट हैव द कोलेटरल्स, और आर वी नॉट रीचिंग देम. सो दीज आर फ्यू कंसर्न्स जो कि मुझे लगता है कि आई वुड जस्ट लाइक टू you know, like put forth in front of the panelists as well as the house we have over here. So अब हमने पोटेंशियल की बात करी बहुत. वी नो देयर इज़ अ पोटेंशियल. इट इज़ नॉट ओनली 6.32 लाख विच वी हैव असेस्ड फॉर द ईयर 26-27. द पोटेंशियल माइट बी मच मोर, बिकॉज जैसा अभी हमने देखा SLBC 187th SLBC में कि जो हमारा ACP टारगेट था उसका 70-74% हम ऑलरेडी अचीव कर चुके हैं. सो दैट मीन्स हमारे पास भी उतना यू नो लाइक वी हैव दैट व्हाट डू वी से कि सामर्थ्य है कि हम उस चीज़ को अचीव कर सकते हैं, उससे कहीं ज़्यादा अचीव कर सकते हैं. लेकिन इस पोटेंशियल को क्रेडिट में कैसे कन्वर्ट करें? वी नो देयर इज़ अ पोटेंशियल, वी नो देयर इज़ अ गैप, बट हाउ डू वी डील विद इट? हाउ डू वी रियली convert it into the credit enhancement, or how do we reach people? So again, at the cost of maybe I'm repeating, but the first and foremost is the awareness. बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है कि हमें लोगों तक ये पहुँचाना कि what are the schemes which are there, what are the policies for them. कितनी स्कीम्स हैं? बहुत सारी स्कीम्स ऐसी हैं, आई डोंट, मेनी ऑफ अस माइट नॉट बी नोइंग, और इवन इफ वी आर अवेयर शायद हम उस पर उतना फोकस नहीं करते हैं. तो हमारी जो अवेयरनेस है, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर आपको क्रेडिट एनहांसमेंट की जब हम बात करते हैं तो फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी, द अवेयरनेस एंड द स्किल development, this is very very important, and that is where I feel the RCT directors and RCT officials are here. सर, हम जो स्किल डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं, हम लोग को अब एक बहुत ही एक और लेवल जंप करने की ज़रूरत है, जहाँ पे हमें उस तरह के स्किल देना है where they are ready when they come out, or when this capacity building is over, they are ready for either self employment or they are ready to get absorbed anywhere. They might also, तो हम लोग को इस तरह के जो इनोवेटिव स्किल्स हैं, जो इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड स्किल्स हैं, अब हमें उस तरह पे ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए, सो दैट मोर एंड मोर एंटरप्राइजेस कैन कम ओवर, मोर एंड मोर स्मॉल यूनिट्स कैन. हम MSME की बात कर रहे हैं, बट देन MSME में इवन माइक्रो एंड स्मॉल यूनिट्स. Now, who's going to, come in these micro and small units? These can be SHG members, these can be ladies, these can be the participants or the candidates who come out of these RCTs. So, we really need to focus on the kind of skill development, the kind of capacity building, the kind of literacy we are giving and we are imparting. The second comes in, the credit guarantees. अभी भी हर, जैसे अगर आप बात करें, हम लोग FPOs की बात करते हैं, सिंस NABARD इज़ रिलेटेड एंड वी हैव प्रमोटेड मोर देन 300 FPOs. अभी भी FPOs या तो they have not reached, or they are not within the reach of the banking sector, or we do not have the kind of product they really need. But I would also like to stress upon कि उनके लिए क्रेडिट गारंटीज़ हैं, FPO के लिए है, फिशरीज सेक्टर के लिए है. सो देर आर जो क्रेडिट गारंटीज़ हैं, कंसेशनल रीफाइनेंस हैं, सो ये सारी चीज़ें अवेलेबल हैं. And I would urge all the bankers out here to please make use of these credit guarantee schemes, refinance, concessional refinance. For example, renewable energy ke liye scheme government ki hai. NABARD is also giving concessional refinance, not for the, like to all sectors of the bank, but then we do have that kind of scheme. So let's make use of those kind of schemes and try to get more and more people take the benefit of the credit. Then I will again talk of the collectives, whether it is farmer collectives, whether it is artisans. So NABARD ki jo one of my colleagues, Amit, ne jab presentation show kiya, and we showed all those developmental interventions which we are doing. So, what developmental interventions, we should not take them into isolation, like that we are doing watershed or we are doing wadi. It is not that watershed or a wadi project where we are catering to the tribals. It is just for the upliftment of those tribals. No. We are trying to create demand. We are trying to give them an opportunity of livelihood where they really need credit. They may not need a very, like a term loan or maybe a big chunk of credit, but then we are, through our developmental functions, whether it is watershed, we are trying to increase the production and the productivity of that place. The kind of infrastructure development, it gives, like the impact, the livelihoods. एंड स्टेट इस तरह से जो हमारे इंटरवेंशंस होते हैं उनसे हम एक क्रेडिट एनहांसमेंट की डायरेक्शन में हम लोग वर्क कर रहे हैं. एंड आई वुड रियली रिक्वेस्ट ऑल द बैंकर्स टू लुक इनटू इट. जो ये फार्मर्स कलेक्टिव्स हैं, GI की हम बात करते हैं, NABARD इज वर्किंग फॉर जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन. इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट दैट वी वांट टू प्रिजर्व द हेरिटेज. We really want more and more artisans to come into it. We want those micro enterprises to be set up. We want those cultural heritage तो हमें बचाना ही है, preserve ही करना है, but उसके साथ में ये जो एक enhancement का एक जिम्मा हम we are trying to take that. So these are our interventions where we are focusing or directing for creating the demand, and that is where we want to the bankers to align with what we are doing so that we can really cater to more and more credit enhancement and credit deepening. Then comes the product diversification. बहुत अभी भी पैनलिस्ट ने भी esteemed panelists ने बात किया कि there is a need to cater to the needs of the people. There might be some people who may, we have a tailor-made products, but there might be some people who may really want different kind of product, उनकी needs के मुताबिक. So we should be ready to, diversify our products to cater to the needs of these people, the weaker sections, as well as people in the aspirational districts, the credit deficient districts. Why do really, there are still credit deficient districts or the aspirational districts where the credit is still not, like up to the mark or up to the standard which we want, because we are not able to cater to the needs maybe, or we find them not to be, having those kind of credit worthiness which fits into our benchmark. So let us think beyond that. Let us think what we can do for these kind of people so that we can increase our outreach or we can reach out to these people. So these are few things I would really like to say. And I would again end that Gujarat, which is one of the most dynamic and progressive state, has immense potential. We have immense potential in not only the agriculture sector per se, but the allied sectors. The fisheries sector, we say we have the longest coastline over here, but then do we really have that kind of fisheries sector developed? Are we catering to these kind of people who are there in that sector? We have to work for the value chain. We have to really, look beyond just the agriculture, the crop production. So let us look beyond whatever we are doing. Let us think a little more innovative, and let us work together. Thank you.